Disney has come to be associated with animation. For nearly a century, the Walt Disney Studios, founded by animation pioneer Walt Disney, has produced some of the most imaginative films. The medium has evolved significantly over its long history. Hello and welcome back to our channel. In this video today, let's take a look at the evolution of Disney. But before we begin, subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to never miss a video from us. Walt Disney's early work included a number of short films, some of which starred Mickey Mouse. Other animation studios were familiar with the process at the time, which relied on frame-by-frame drawings to create the illusion of movement. While Disney was not one of the forefathers of this format, he did strive for significant improvements, such as building animations around sound and relying more on live-action references for more fluid drawings. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, the first feature-length animated film in dazzling color, was undoubtedly his first major masterpiece. The film looked incredible for the time, especially given that the majority of the characters in the film were human, with realistic features and movement. This was particularly important in the development of the titular princess and her charming heroic prince Charming. Both of these characters were filmed in the live action and traced over using the rotoscoping technique to make them stand out. Because their movements and expressions feel so natural, the result is one of the most believable animated characters of the era. Another intriguing film technique was the use of the multiplane camera. This massive machine could pan across the screen and zoom in on a subject using multiple layers. This brought the world of Snow White to life, as if a camera were pushing through the foliage in search of the castle. Because of the success of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Walt Disney and his animators were able to build their own animation studio in Burbank, California. Future Disney productions would take off from mere ideas to cinematic delights here. The following features were mostly about animals. Dumbo featured exaggerated figures such as the lead elephant's ear that were far too large for his body. Bambi was a more fluid and believable take on animals, as the animators were inspired by the grace and stumblings of real-life deer, even going so far as to have their own zoo right at the studio. Fantasia, an anthology of animated vignettes set to familiar orchestral music, was undoubtedly one of the most groundbreaking early Disney features. Take note of the airbrushing used to make the Sugar Plum Fairies float across the screen during the Nutcracker suit. Check out the additional reference work during the Rite of Spring sequence of bubbling lava during the dinosaur era. Dance of the Hours was a comedic ballad sequence involving an alligator and a hippo, made possible by detailed reference from ballerinas. Skip ahead a few decades, and Disney had entered a new era known as the Disney Renaissance. It all started with Little Mermaid in 1989, which introduced not only new format of Broadway-style musical numbers, but also fantastic new animation techniques. Even though every bubble in the underwater sequence was drawn by hand, the hand-drawn animations was still impressive. However, the use of computer graphics to create more eye-catching visuals was a highlight. Pixar's CAPS software were used to digital painting, and computer graphics were used for staging some of the castle sequences, as well as the detailed ships that sailed the seas. Beauty and the Beast, released in 1991, employed even more of these techniques to greater effect. That film's ballroom sequence is a fantastic showcase of CAPS at the time, rendering an awe-inspiringly massive ballroom generated in computer animations with a traditionally animated Belle and Beast dancing as the camera swings around them. More vibrant colors and a grander use of scale recreated the sweeping effect of Snow White's classic multiplane camera setup. It should be noted that Beauty and the Beast was the first Disney animated film to be nominated for Best Picture at the Academy Awards. While the CAPS system was still in use during the Disney Renaissance of the 1990s, Pixar had bigger plans. After years of developing computer-generated imagery animated shorts, Pixar Animation Studio was finally going to sell Disney on the first feature-length animated film made entirely with CGI. Thanks to the help of their RenderMan software, 1995's Toy Story was a real game-changer in animations for accomplishing this feat. The film's production process was lengthy, with hours spent rendering just one frame. Render times improved with each film's technological advancements, as did the effects. Characters began to look less like the intended plastic of Toy Story and more textured. The detailed simulations of hair and fur in Monster Inc. and The Incredibles stand out as the highlight of the renders. Finding Nemo was so inspired by the ocean environments that the studio's initial renderings were overly photorealistic and had to be toned down to have a more exaggerated but still believable edge. With Pixar's Brave, a new animation system dubbed Presto was created to boost productivity. Presto, like Pixar's previous marionette system, allowed animators to work in more fully rendered environments to make better changes, because animators couldn't see more of the rendered geometry or textures in their work environments. Computer animation required a lot of guesswork. Animators would no longer have to guess or wait until the final render to see if their work looked good. This system was so revolutionary that it earned the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences Technical Achievement Award in 2018. Pixar's Presto is more of a proprietary system that continues Disney traditions of developing their own tools. Disney continues to make breakthrough improvements with mind-blowing techniques as new features are released, whether from Pixar or Disney's own CGI studio. Hopefully, this is just the beginning, and the studio has plenty more innovative techniques up their sleeves to keep that sense of magic alive in this medium that generates the illusion of life. And that's all for today's video. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, then do like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more such exciting content. See you in the next one.